The right bulge.
We're talking about our bulges on Saturday morning with Jeff Powell and Tyler Perea. We're going to watch UFC 1 and do a fight companion while we do it. So, yeah, watch along, have some fun. Jeff, what do you think about the slap stuff?
Did not watch it. Refused to watch it. I'm not watching that stuff, man.
I watched it.
Yeah.
I got a kick out of it.
Did one guy go to the hospital?
I'm sure they all did.
It takes, I don't know. It like, what's up with Dana White on that one? Like, you're just taking the purity out of the sport completely.
He just wants to make money.
Yeah.
That's all he's about is making money.
I watch every combat sport. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, and that's the one I was just no.
Well, to me, that's not a combat sport.
No,
that's I don't know what that is. That's like taking advantage of people. Like, hey, you could use about $3,000. Now, here's what I figured out. Now, when they showed that on TV the other day, it said exhibition bout. It said slap power exhibition. So what does that mean?
Well, you know that athletic commission's got to have a hand in it somewhere. They got to get their money somewhere.
Yes, but exhibition means what for the people that just fought?
Yeah,
they didn't get paid, right?
Yeah, no. Exhibition, you get paid for exhibitions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that meant you can't know it. Money is exchanged. Yeah. So who you got, Jim?
Who do I got? Like, I don't know who won. Hey, there's Tila Tooley. Yeah. Have you seen Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He's the big guy that helps them roast the pig.
I like that guy. And then it's pretty crazy, like how far advanced like the athleticisms went in 29 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, because they were just like, normal.
Sitting around reading Black Belt magazine.
Yeah.
The real badass of the show, Superfoot Wallace. So I grew up watching Superfoot Wallace.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. My dad always had me working on my left kick because he was a Superfoot Wallace fan.
Is that what do you kick people in the head with most?
Like what do I or what does Superfoot Wallace?
What did you kick me in the head with when I Bambi legged?
It's just a round kick, basically.
But right or left?
Left.
Bastard.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was the right one. Didn't ever see it.
Yes.
Your dad was smart to do that, man. That's awesome. That happened. Why did he have you doing combat sports, your dad?
Oh, he didn't. I just always had an interest in it. I just loved it as a kid, and watching martial arts movies and stuff, and then when you could catch it, it was like on ESPN2 late at night, and you could watch the old full contact karate. Superfoot Wallace and Joe Louis, all those guys did.
You got Trevor Peek to the UFC, man. What's that like?
Well, I got Trevor. I don't think I got he got himself there.
He did the work. He did this and that. But you were the coach. You coached him too there. Yeah. I've known Trevor since I was probably 14 or 15. We know how he looked before. We know how he looked after. There's a lot better since you came to the picture. So what's it like getting to see some of that hard work pay off?
Oh man, I love it for him. It's great. I don't even know how to say it. It's awesome. Seeing anybody that does well with letting me hang around a little bit, that's pretty cool.
No, you're too humble, boss. Because you've also got Manny Rosenbeck. She's like number 1 in Tennessee right now.
I think she's Tennessee and Alabama.
And you're her kickboxing coach. We know how she went from before to after.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of good, man. It is a lot of you doing it. We can say they're doing the work or whatever, but we've seen them before and we've seen them after.
Yeah.
And after is a million times better.
Well, luckily they work hard too, though, and they listen to me babble about old fights and shit like that. So.
Well, I know. Just for me, like it's hard to compete and stuff, but as far as knowledge and stuff that I got from you, it was a night and day difference from stuff that we had seen to what we ended up with. And it's awesome. You're a really good coach. I'm proud to know you.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm slowly coming around to finding my ego on this. Like I
Yeah,
I want to be known as the best coach. I already believe I am the best striking coach for any combat sport. I don't care if it's MMA, if it's boxing, full contact kickboxing, Muay Thai, international rules, even point karate, Taekwondo. I've either had experience in participating or in coaching every combat sport that involves striking. You're not going to find a more versatile coach than me when it comes to that.
And I think you're right. I know you're right.
Oh hell yeah.
I think it's just time. What you'll see a lot is like not like a cult mentality, but almost like a bro mentality in a lot of stuff. Do you think it's been hard to get the credit that you're due, or do you think you've been given just enough credit that you're due? You know what I'm trying to say? Where you at on that?
I don't know.
If you just puff that chest, hell, keep going.
Trevor and Mary have always spoke really highly of me. Luckily, they're in different gyms now. Ever since I closed my gym, of course, you got to keep training if you want to pursue this. And I even suggested to them, was like, you got to get yourself in the gym. And they've always given me a lot of credit, and luckily their coaches have not had the cult mentality. I preach about the cult thing all the time, they've been open enough to let me still work as their striking coach with not being like, he's an outsider.
Can't work with him.
Yeah. And then I work with Chattanooga Mixed Martial Arts College a lot as well. And Trevor's at Agogi, Mary's at Militia. When I say the cult mentality, I hate when everybody's in that one little group and it's like, well, you can't work with them because they're working with the enemy. And the enemy is getting out of this area. If you want to be the best fighter in the world, there's no enemy. I wouldn't care if I coach people against each other at opposing gyms. I just want them to get to that next level. I want to see more people in the UFC and Bellator, ONE FC.
And that's how everybody should be. You should want to see people get up. That's always what we were looking for. Like when I was doing shows, we're trying to get someone up. We're trying to pump people up. We're building a platform, trying to make people talk about them because no one's talking about them. It's, hell, someone go fight in this yard right now. If it's just us that we know, well, no one cares. But if we record it and put it out there into the world, well, hell, everybody knows. Like, hey, they got a little bit. So I like that mentality. Tyler, have you watched this before?
No, I've watched old clips.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take your picks on the card.
Oh, okay.
All right, so you watch these two guys and tell us who you got.
They didn't have weight classes back then, did they?
No
didn't.
weight classes. Not for the first one.
Not for the first one, but then they had to do weight classes after that because we had a 400
No. They didn't have weight classes, I think, until I want to say UFC 9.
Damn,
I could be wrong.
But did they have weight classes in karate matches and everything like that back in that time?
Yes. Yeah, like if you did full contact karate.
Yeah.
You did. Speaking of which, you got the karate guy here. You got Gerard Gordeau, Kyokushin karate guy, Savat, and Dutch kickboxing. Most people think of him as an evil son of a bitch, but
a little bit, yeah.
Have you seen the fight from? It wasn't Pancrase. It was in Japan where he blinded the Japanese guy.
Yeah, he's like clawing his eyes out and stuff.
Yeah.
Who was that?
I can't even remember the guy's name.
Oh shit, he hasn't. He's fucking. He did the.
Well, I think that was more karate.
Yeah, that's what it was. More karate chop.
Yeah, I know Tong Sudo used to do that. Has that little salute thing.
And then they were like, oh. Did they cut that, or they still do that today?
They still do that.
So
they were doing that when I was doing point karate.
Go join them, and he'd be doing karate. I give him hell all the time. Who you got, Tyler?
Probably the dude who outweighs him by fucking 400 pounds.
Which we talked about Superfoot Wallace, but Kathy Long is on here too. I had a crush on Kathy Long when I was a kid, just because she was a chick, she's good looking, and she can kickbox.
Like, I do karate.
Yeah.
My first crush was Lola Bunny.
Lola Bunny.
Space Jam.
I didn't say it was my first crush.
I was like, go ahead.
I didn't say it was my first crush. I had a thing for Jessica Rabbit, actually.
Jessica Rabbit was bad. You can actually see everything in the movie. Now, it's nothing there. It's just a little drawing.
Yeah.
But it's there. And then but mine was Lola Bunny. I remember being like 4 or 5 years old when it came out, and I watched it, and I was like, what the hell is this Bunny Rabbit?
Why do I feel weird?
Didn't have any idea what was going on, but and now they've made her, she's got like lazy eyes and stuff. They changed her for the new ones. It's not the same Lola Bunny. It's sad. Mom, check the sound if you would on YouTube. I'm sure it's good. I just want to make sure it sounds okay.
So since you haven't seen this, the only rules is no biting and no eye gouging.
Jesus. That's
it. You can stomp people in the face.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Headbutt.
But can you still do that in Pride?
Pride's not around.
Yeah.
Wait, what happened? Yeah.
ONE FC. you can
Yes.
still stomp
Really?
and soccer kick. Yeah.
UFC
Damn.
bought Pride and said, we're just going to keep it going. They shut it down. Pride had the better people, especially at this time, no?
At this time, Sarah Pride didn't come in until 97. This is 93.
Okay, but they had,
So-
as soon as they came in, though, they had everybody.
Well, they started scooping up people with,
Was
they
they
had big
fucking
money.
up UFC fighters when they'd go over and fight at Pride?
Dana took Chuck over there.
No, he legitimately lost. The only time he lost was against Rampage.
What he means is like, were the UFC fighters winning when Dana took them over there?
It was like 50-50 if you look at it. A lot of people don't talk about when the UFC scrapped the lightweight division and all of the UFC lightweights. I want to say they were still under contract or the UFC was supporting them and was going over and fighting. Like he had Eve Edwards. I'm a giant Eve Edwards fan. And
it's crazy to me they scrapped that weight class for the longest time. How long was it going? 155. And that's like a Shark Tank. That's all the best people in the world.
Yeah.
Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor, Eddie, all these people were there, Nick Diaz. And they scrapped it for like how many years?
I'm going to say 5.
They scrapped that weight class, 155.
No, you gotta watch this. It's quick.
Going for years. Who you got, Tyler?
I told you, but dude,
he's going with Tila Tooley.
He went and not the Nazi guy. He's a Nazi.
Yeah, he's about to.
Oh,
shit! I was wrong, wasn't I? I was dead wrong.
Supposedly, Tooley's tooth landed in front of Superfoot Wallace at the commentary.
Oh shit! He fucked his eye.
Look at he's like, am I alive? Am I alive? Oh god!
Dude, he kicked him right in the face on the ground.
I love that guy's neck.
So, me and my dad, we rented this, and it was like 94 by then. By the time we rented it, I was doing Shotokan karate at the time.
Yeah.
And I love this part of things because the karate guy did it, and every Van Damme movie back in the day had a sumo wrestler that was like a badass. You didn't want to mess with a sumo wrestler. Why don't you want to mess with the sumo wrestler?
Street Fighter sumo wrestler like that, like that sumo.
Yeah. Like in Bloodsport, there was a sumo wrestler. And
it was always the same.
Has a sumo background.
Yeah,
that's cool for me. That's neat.
It kind of goes hand in hand with the blitzing method that karate has.
I didn't know they could hit each other.
In sumo?
Yeah.
They smack the shit out
Yeah,
of
so
each
Tyler,
other.
look, when a sumo match starts, they're here and there. And you think they're just pushing and bumping. But no, as soon as they say go, you go wham! And you can put them out. If they fall asleep, they're out, man.
Kind of like combat jiu-jitsu, but with big ass motherfuckers.
Take combat jiu-jitsu and mix it with football linemen.
Yeah. What do you think about combat jiu-jitsu? Where are you at on that?
I think it's good as like an amateur, like to build up jiu-jitsu guys moving over into MMA. I hate when you see guys that are just like, well, I'm a jiu-jitsu champion. I'll automatically be great in MMA. Like, give them something to kind of dip their toes in the water, I guess.
Feel that getting hit first.
Yeah, because it changes so much.
That's something I wish I'd had more of, was just more competition in general before. I wish I had done more grappling matches. I wish I had done like some combat jiu-jitsu. I wish I had done some more kickboxing. I wish I'd done a lot getting used to stuff. Yeah. And another thing was like when I did have my time with you, I wish I hadn't have also, been doing shows and stuff. I wish I'd have stopped then for a little while and just done that.
Can you do that kick now? When he's on his knees?
No,
you can't.
Unless you fight in ONE FC.
And ONE FC's wild, man.
Wait, is ONE FC over here in America though?
Asia.
They just had their the Demetrius Johnson trilogy fight.
But they can't headstone here.
It's going to be the first American show. I don't know if they're going to allow it or not.
I don't think any commission in the states will allow the headstones.
Actually, I'm not even sure if one allows head stomping anymore. You can still soccer kick, and you can knee to the head on the ground.
You can look up videos of Shogun doing a seminar in Brazil. It's his highlight video, and the start of his highlight video I've showed you. It's Shogun going, look, man, pass the leg, soccer kick, split the leg, stomp. And he's just like teaching them how to do it. Yeah. We're over here in America like, well, man, look, that's not good sportsmanship.
I can see people taking the stomp out, but I really think knees to the head on the ground should be allowed.
And I agree. I think a soccer kick should be allowed. Yeah. I think if in professional. Amateurs, hell no. But I think for pros, it's a fight. Knees to the head of a grounded opponent because you've got people that are just stalled, they're waiting. And then I think Instead of someone laying back, what? Well, that's not real. Real fight. I'm gonna stomp on your head. I also think. What do you think about grabbing the cage? Not holding it, not pulling someone to the cage and this. I'm talking. You're on your back on the bottom, getting up.
It's kind of a gray area because that they can use it offensively as like stuffing your head in the cage. So why can't I use it defensively to get up?
I just want to get up.
Yeah.
There should be like a 5-second grace. And then I think a lot of refs kind of ease it by. They'll see you kind of get up and they're like, he didn't hold it.
Yeah.
This guy's built like my dad. Built like me at 40.
Yeah. When Sam was Benjamin Button.
Yeah. I'm so much sexier now having known you. So because when I first met Jeff, he did think I was 40.
Bullshit.
He looked like he was 40.
Yeah, he got a full-grown beard.
But he was fighting heavyweight at the time too. And I was like, and I remember even saying to him, I was like, man, I would never let you fight heavyweight. I wouldn't let you fight any heavier than 185. And then next thing you know, he's making it to 155.
Yeah. Jack Seady's son.
So,
what was that karate you was? What was the name of that karate?
Kyokushin.
Well, not that. It started with an S.
Oh, Shotokan.
Yeah. What is that?
Just karate.
Oh.
Just different styles of karate.
What is Machida's karate?
Machida actually come from a Shotokan background,
That's
which
cool.
they call it Machida Do, though. His dad was the teacher of it. If I'm not wrong, yet again, there's fact checkers out there for some of this stuff, but I thought it was a Shotokan base. So.
Who you got, Tyler? I don't know who wins this one. I think I do, but I don't. Who you got, Tyler?
Let's play some bets.
Yeah. I like this guy's hairline.
Probably.
We similar.
Put it all on black.
All on black. Always bet on black.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that move?
Yeah.
He had a little seizure.
Yeah.
And then he was going ready.
It was a shoe shine from boxing, but it was like a baby's shoe though.
So a lot of these people lied. I'm ready 400. No.
Well, I mean, you could fill out an application in Black Belt Magazine to get in.
Yeah. Okay. What about the Gracie brother? Who's the one? They're the one, not Hoist, but.
Hickson.
Yeah. What about him? Was that legit? Was he badass like that, or was he just like?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a hearsay kind of thing.
He was running like 300. No, he was saying, "I'm undefeated, brother." Is that my dad? Why's the pants so high, Kevin? I've got the same bald spot that guy has, right here.
Yeah.
So I'm combing it back now, trying to take care of it, man. Can keto make you lose hair?
I wouldn't think so.
So it's just
Again,
stress.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a guy with a degree here.
So on that slap fest, I was seeing they was hitting the neck a lot.
Makes sense.
Yeah, hitting that carotid artery and knocking them some bitches
I used
out.
to think a head kick had to be the head. Jeff said, "No, kick him in the neck."
Yeah, that's what you want to go for.
You hit them in that artery and it's fucking over with. It's lights out.
Yeah, well, this is the way I was coached on the head kick is you wanted your shin to wrap across the carotid and the jawline and your foot to actually wrap around and hit the back of the head, like right in the occipital area. So, it gives them, like if you see a picture perfect head kick that lands that way, you see them, the victim of it doing that weird blink and then they fall forward. That's where it's slapping the occipital area. So,
that's what the
Who, Jeff? Someone posted a thing to Facebook earlier. They were like, there was this guy talking about kickboxing and stuff, and he was talking about lineage, and I do think that's important. And again, before you, I had no lineage. I had my first coach was Jake. He's our announcer now. He doesn't coach anymore. Now he did some good karate with some kids and stuff. It's just I think you're the best coach I ever had around here.
Mm-hmm.
What was your lineage again? How did it go?
Where are we starting at?
You can go back as far as you want to. But I know it went for me. I know it goes you, Chet, and then I'm lost from there.
Yeah. Well, I got to give credit to like every coach I've had though. That's what's, and I've been blessed with some really great coaches. I started off with Shotokan karate. That was taught by a cop in Stevenson, Alabama. The guy's name was Scott Whited. Really enforced discipline really well. And I was not a good student at the time, but, and then I found, Grandmaster Jay Blanton for Taekwondo. He developed his own style called Mongho martial arts, and Mongho means tiger in Korean. Man, I'm going to go on a whole tangent here.
You go. People deserve credit.
Jay Blanton trained under Kong Ree, who actually coached Superfoot Wallace and coached Elvis.
That's awesome.
Of all people.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's but Jay was actually the first person to get in my mind that like I never thought I could be a fighter. You know, I was like, but he actually got in my mind. You're good at this. You could do this. You know, and
you just slept my son.
No, I never did that. But he got me into competing. You know, and once he actually got me kind of believing in myself, next thing I know, you know, it's like first place every other weekend. You know, meanwhile, you know, everybody's playing football around here. I'm going to karate tournaments every weekend, different places. And Jay actually got me inducted into the United States International Martial Arts Hall of Fame when I was 17 for Competitor of the Year.
That's awesome.
And man, it was like the coolest thing. You know, I got to take this road trip with my dad to St. Louis to pick up.
Dude.
And that same year, Bruce Lee was being inducted, and Richard Bustillo was accepting the award. And Richard was, you know, Bruce Lee's first student, took over his schools in Fresno. And that'll come into play in the story a little bit later. But
but
had this awesome like speech for it. You know, we were just blown away. I was like, man, this is so cool. You know, Richard Bustillo was here. You know, and I still joke about this. I got the Hall of Fame thing, and my mom put a little write up about it in the paper. You know, and the week that she put it out there, the front page was like, North Jackson wins another football game, you know, and then here's this tiny picture of me in the very back. And it's like, meanwhile, here's Jeff being inducted into a Hall of Fame for Competitor of the Year.
At 17 years old.
Yeah.
Mind you.
Yeah. And Frank Shamrock was at the event. That was really cool, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. But Jay had to move away, had some family issues move up. And so me and two other guys took up the school, kept teaching it, but I always wanted to compete, and this goes into that cult mentality that I had. It wasn't forced on me. I went with it. I'm badass in Taekwondo. My Taekwondo can beat anything. I'll even beat these guys in MMA. Well, it took me 2 MMA fights to realize. Oh yeah, Jeff, you'll enjoy this part. Yeah. Yeah,
he's head stomping the shit out of him. He stopped it, threw the towel in.
Yeah,
his corner threw the towel.
This is before the referees even knew how to stop people.
Oh shit! So the corner had to save your ass, not the ref.
Yeah, ref was just there to. Yeah. Hey, don't do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Jeff, keep going.
But wanted to compete in MMA and kickboxing, so I had the option. I just graduated high school and just got the shit kicked out of me twice in front of my parents. So, you know, I had the option of, I had a full scholarship to go to UAH. I could either go to UAH and do something with my life, or I could pursue fighting. Luckily, I had parents that were like, well, you can go to college at any age.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really fight when you're 40, and you should pursue fighting. So they, my mom found Blaylock's IMB, Chet Blaylock's school.
Rest in peace, Chet Blaylock.
Oddly enough, at the same time, my aunt was working with a guy, Scott Bowman, who was training at Blaylock's. Okay. And I called Scott. I was like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Do you need some sparring partners or something? You know, he's like, you need to go to Blaylock's, you know. And so it's like, oh, well, I guess that's the sign right there. My mom found it. And then now this guy's telling me about it. And ended up at Chet's. And then Chet just kind of, I kind of flourished at Chet's. It was just amazing. I went from being like this Taekwondo champion, being awesome, to just getting the hell beat out of me every day by a bunch of pro kickboxers, pro MMA guys. And, but then I got to meet all of these different people through Chet. I got to work out with Joe Lewis, and then eventually I got to work out with Richard Bustillo, and that, you know, they always took me to the side and showed me a little extra. And then Alan Goez and Dustin Dennis. There was just tons of people that would come in and out through there. And
Alan Goez was in Pride.
No shit.
Actually, he was in UFC too.
Yeah.
Fought UFC 17.
That's awesome.
against Dan Henderson.
Oh shit!
What's the big difference between kickboxing and karate, though? That a lot of people wouldn't understand.
It depends on the type of karate. So
I can hear you.
karate's kind of point based.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Point karate.
Yeah. So it's point based, and you know, you make the point, and then you separate.
And
you know,
you stop after you make a point. Like it okay.
And you know, this is coming from a former point fighting champion. It's a glorified game of tag, really.
Yeah,
fun tag.
Yeah. It's nothing. I don't know. It
ain't a continuous fucking match.
No,
at all. Not. It stops.
But and then you do have like full contact karate, like Kyokushin karate, where they go for the knockout. But even then, though, they'll still break them. They're still like in Kyokushin, you're not allowed to punch to the head. You know, it's like, who's going to get into a street fight and not try to punch you in the head?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Man,
but then there's all these different rules of kickboxing too, and I've noticed it really heavily. A lot of the referees don't even understand the different rules in kickboxing. You know, there's a difference between the full contact international rules, or you know, if you want to call it K1 or glory rules, and then there's a difference in Muay Thai, and these refs are just, I don't know, either they're not educated. The athletic commissions don't want to educate them on it. There needs to be something done, in my opinion. Needs to be something done.
Well, what's the difference between Muay Thai and kickboxing? I don't know that.
All right, so if you watch Muay Thai, you're allowed punch, kick, knee, and elbow, and you're also allowed to clinch. And you can clinch.
Oh, okay. You can't clinch in kickboxing.
There's a gray area on that one.
Really?
So you can clinch in Muay Thai. You can clinch as long as you're active. You know, so you know, if the whole round is you clinching but you're staying active, they don't care. You know, go for it. And what a lot of people don't realize too, when it comes down to judging, Muay Thai is scored differently than kickboxing as well. I guess it's just, again, people don't have the interest in it. They're putting people in these judging and referee positions that are not interested.
That have no idea about it.
Yeah. I mean,
don't care to learn.
It has to be a passion, you know.
It has to be.
And now then with kickboxing, so if you take international rules, at an amateur level, there's no knees, but international rules are, you know, some people call it Japanese kickboxing, they'll call it Dutch kickboxing, some will call it K1 or glory rules. You can punch, kick, and knee, and you can throw a knee in the clinch only for that one time. You know, you clinch real quick, you knee, you let go. If you throw it to the head, you have to release the head on impact. So you can't.
And then Muay Thai, you can.
Okay, but I've seen Alex Perea knock out people with the switch knee in kickboxing.
A flying knee, yeah.
Flying knee.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
I tried to teach a flying knee class one day. Yeah. How hard was it for people to do flying
fucking
knee?
Hard. It's hard.
It was like, it's hard to do, man.
Yeah. But everybody wants to do it. It's like a Superman punch, you know.
Dude, Superman punch, same. I was like, dude, y'all know how to do it? Yeah. It's hard.
Man, it's hard. But I did learn how to hold pads from you and him. Both of y'all have taught me how to hold pads and shit. But holding pads, it is a big key component into learning combos, learning all kinds of shit. Ain't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got a great pad holding class.
Oh, I've got one coming up February 11th in Valhalla Martial Arts. It's Valhalla Martial Arts in Addison, Alabama. Yeah.
Stephen Owens in there.
Yeah. They go down and do a pad holding seminar. A lot of people don't realize how much pad holding translates over to fighting. You're seeing too many of these people where the pad holder's doing more work than the fighter. They're doing that. Yeah, they're doing this crazy slapping stuff and they're trying to look cool while they're doing it. You know, you catch them like doing all these poses and stuff.
You'll see people look, they'll go.
Yeah, the little strut afterwards.
It's wild. It's crazy to see.
But yeah, they don't realize that pad holding actually translates to your defense. You know, you're learning your defense, and
I told everybody
you're learning to say punches and kicks.
When we were teaching people to hold pads and stuff at our places after you'd gone, and I was explaining to people like, look, we're not always gonna be there. You might take a fight, and I'm like, well, I got a family, I gotta go be somewhere. Your buddy might need to hold the pads for you. Tyler's never fought in his life. He can hold pads like a motherfucker. He'll smoke you out. So I was telling people, look, y'all are out here lazy, wham, 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 doing all this shit. well, you're not getting used to like blocking and stuff. I said, you should be acting like you're blocking punches. You should be acting like you're looking at everything coming. You're blocking right and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's because you told me that. So I was like, look, motherfucker, that guy can kill me and I can kill you. Do what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And they'll pick it up, man.
And you do got to hold them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You can't be limp wristing. You can't be like, oh, here's a pad, motherfucker.
Will made me peel myself once a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I pissed. Just 'cause he's so damn big. Hey, smack it. I went,
But again, that was the lucky thing with being with Chet is we always had to hold pads for each other, and he really drilled that into us. This is your defense here.
Tyler, have you ever heard of this guy? Look what he's wearing. You know Art Jimerson? Art Jimerman?
No. Jimerson.
No.
Yeah.
Look at what he's wearing.
Boxing gear?
No, how many?
How many boxing gears?
Look at him again. Hang on, you'll see him in a minute.
Is that the right term? Boxing gears?
I was going to say glove. But...
okay. Yeah.
So Art was a legitimate boxer, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He was a legitimate boxer. Go ahead.
The thing is like IFBB or IFB Pro.
It's hoist. No,
yeah.
He's about to tap him. He wins. He wins the first UFC. Yeah, bullshit. I know he wins it. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
Look what he's wearing. Look.
But yeah, I forgot how he talked himself into being able to wear one glove.
Whoa, one glove.
Yeah.
One glove. What the fuck?
But it was supposed to be completely bare knuckle. That was the deal with the show.
He's like, I need one glove.
Oh, really? That was the deal with it?
Yeah. It's supposed to be completely bare knuckle, no rules. It's supposed to be the closest thing to a street fight you could get.
Y'all remember the tough man competitions around here?
I won once.
Did you?
I won once.
Yeah, I remember. I went with Will one time, and
Will won
beat the shit. Hell yeah, he beat the shit out of all of them people.
I was training with Will then too. I've been around Will a long time. Always a nice guy.
Yeah, I love Will. I've known him since he was a little kid.
And
I hate he's in trouble. I think
he sounded, when we talked to him on the phone, I ain't heard him sound like that in a long time. He sounded great.
Do you think Will could have beat Christian? Not would he have? Do you think he could have beat Christian Eccles?
I don't know.
Just possibility, yes, or possible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Would it have been at least been a possibility?
I mean, it's a fact. I'm being political here,
and that's what I'm trying to. That's what I tried to tell him. Is like, dude, you could have beat him. Not that he would have, but you could have won.
Yeah, it's a fight. I mean, everybody said that Christian was going to get destroyed in his last fight, and we see what happened.
Yeah, I won money on that.
Yeah.
The reason why is because it's not wrestling. That guy is a great wrestler. This isn't wrestling. Greg Hopkins told me, don't make that bet. You don't want to do that. I said, Greg, it's the odds for me. I said, this isn't wrestling. If it was wrestling, I would take the other guy.
You got to see this finish, by the way.
And then, but once you start getting hit and punched and jiu-jitsu and everything, I knew if that guy didn't finish him in like 30 seconds, it was over.
Yeah.
Other people won money too.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Will could have beat him. I'm not saying he would have.
Yeah.
But Will is so jacked. He looks the part already. Even if he wasn't going to be in like the UFC or Bellator, if he could just learn to wrestle a little bit, fake spar around with somebody, he could have done wrestling and stuff too. And if he gets out and he handles his business right, man, he can go make him a little run too, but he's got to get out and handle business. Stop hanging out around people you shouldn't.
Yeah, around goddamn fake-ass friends.
Yeah, because ain't no one around him now.
No, ain't none of them. No. Hell no.
I feel bad for the guy in one glove.
Yeah.
I think he taps to, what does he tap to?
That's what I was telling Tyler. Like, you got to watch this finish because you don't see this finish.
He tapped him out.
Wait, he's out. Wait, what was it? A punch choke?
No.
He tapped nope. He tapped him out.
He went
out of here.
He tapped him out. Oh. That was it.
How did he tap him?
What did he use?
He didn't.
Nothing. He was mounted. He was like, oh, shit.
He didn't know what to do.
He didn't want no part of that.
Are you serious? His one glove didn't. What the fuck?
He actually works at the UFC gym.
Yes, he does. He still works for
California somewhere. Yeah.
Why did he wear one glove though? One boxing glove.
So he could jab.
That was his jab hand. Wham, wham. He was going to eat him up with that jab. He didn't even throw one.
Oh.
But it's different in there. Boxing, I can't imagine how different it is from boxing to that. I never boxed, but going from boxing to that.
It's really funny too, though. You know, in the pre-fight, you see Hoist in like a jogging suit, and he's throwing all these combinations like he's a high-level boxer. And he doesn't throw one punch this whole event.
Now is Chemo and Joe in this one, or is that two?
No, that's two. No, that's not even two. I'm gonna say it's 4.
Okay, dude, that guy's be shit.
Joe Son.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we'll tell about
upcoming fight companion.
That'll be so fun, dude. We need to do more of these because this is cool.
Yeah,
and she is pretty. She's very beautiful,
and she's a great fighter.
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
What about Cyborg's OnlyFans? You gonna buy that?
The whole OnlyFans thing just it blows my mind. I can't figure it out. It's like, why are you paying money for this?
You can Google image for free.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, isn't porn free now? Like, why
it is? I don't know. Man.
Why do I want to see my neighbor who's like 200 pounds and her doing this stuff when I can see a woman that's a supermodel for free? You know,
and she farts publicly. Like she doesn't laugh. Like, I don't want to see you.
I don't understand it.
Some ladies are selling jars of farts now.
Nothing surprises
me. Lid on it. Send it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Whatever. If you can, they probably make more money than we do. So.
I made Vicky an OnlyFans, but it's just her feet. But jokes on them, it's my feet.
Let that be the surprise at the end.
Well, they're like, damn, she got hairy feet. It's like,
I've heard of women that are doing that too, though. They just OnlyFans of their feet.
Just feet, man. It's crazy.
Well, my coaching, we're trying to really vamp up the online access. Doing social media. I'm all of a sudden now doing a podcast, which I swore I would never do.
Bro. With your buddy.
Yeah. But we got a YouTube channel that'll be coming out probably in March.
Awesome.
Breaking down instructionals. But
hell yeah.
But I was like, I'll do an OnlyFans if so they'll pay me for it.
Yeah.
I'll do it in nothing but peanut oil if they pay me enough.
Dude, that's
they don't want to pay for that.
When that comes up, I'll share it around, and I'm sure a lot of people they won't. Some people won't admit to it, but some people that do coach and stuff are going to grab that and be like, well, "Look, man, we're going to do this today."
Oh yeah,
we're going to do this today.
Well,
like it's okay. That's what it's for. But you son of a bitch, you know I did that.
Well, we've already had that experience with a few people that I've coached, and then they take it, and not even necessarily people I coach, but their students that would come to me would learn things and
I've been to a seminar or
and then all of a sudden I came up with this, and I was like, no, I created that drill in a sheet metal building in Hollywood, Alabama. That's the big thing is I want to start exposing all this stuff that I've sat back. I've took everything that Chet showed me, and then
sorry about that.
You're good. But Chet really took me under his wing and helped me not only help me. What?
Jeff, I'm showing him Ken.
Oh yeah.
You keep going. Chet showed you.
But Chet helped me really blend all the stuff I learned from karate and taekwondo from Jay especially, and make it into a good striking system. And then some person, one of the people that I forgot to mention was Rocky Quinn.
Yes,
man, Rocky really helped out, and he's a very quiet, understated guy. And Rocky has exposed me to Sonny Willis. We had him down for a seminar once.
Rocky's one of the nicest people I ever met, and Sonny and them too, man. Just nice as can be, and they taught us a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, Rocky. Man, everybody that's came through that gym, I joke around about it. Chet would get on to me a little bit for saying this, but it's like I didn't join the gym; I joined the family. All those guys. Actually, on the way down here, I was on the phone with Pops for over an hour. He and I can never stop talking enough. Pops literally is. So it's been like a father to me, Rocky's been like a father to me. Chet was, and man, just everything that's came through fighting, everything I have that's special to me came through fighting. Even my wife came through fighting, and
everything that's good in fighting is really good. Everything that's bad is pretty bad. But that's with everything. You're gonna have shitty people and everything that goes on. I was preaching to a buddy. I preach to people about you. That's what I do. I've never said a bad word about you. All I do is preach to people about you. I was talking to the guy the other day, and I was sitting on the butt, and I got a message on my phone that said, "Hey man, can Jeff Powell just kill a person on the street if he wanted to?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, if he just said, 'Hey, I'm just tired of this shit,' can he kill a person?" I said, "Yes." No questions asked.
No.
I said, as long as he's not angry. I said, if he's cool, He's like Jeffrey Dahmer. He'll kill that person dead.
No,
yes, you can.
If I had that ability, I would still be fighting. I wouldn't be coaching. I never had a mean streak.
That's the thing.
Or athleticism.
Well, hey,
or
I'm going to kick you.
Any of that other stuff.
Hey, I'm going to lock y'all up today. Why? I just need to. That's a mean streak, boss.
After you've coached a little bit, though, you understand now. There's like every now and then,
like you assholes are being lazy.
Yeah,
and I'm going to show you why you shouldn't be. It's wild. But he said that, and I said, yes, he can murder people. Ken Shamrock was so jacked at that time. Now, Ken was already competing in pancrase, or no? At this time?
Yeah, pancrase.
Tell Tyler what pancrase is.
So, have you ever seen the old school videos of Boss Rudin where they're wearing? It looks like they're pro wrestling,
but they're in a ring.
Yeah, they're in a ring,
boxing
and they got on the pro wrestling boots.
Yeah.
So Ken Shamrock was already competing. I believe he'd already won King of Pancrase as well. So it was basically MMA, but it was open-handed. You couldn't punch to the face, but you could
slap the shit out of
slap or palm strike.
But you could knock people out with head kicks and knees. It was basically taking the Kyokushin karate and mixing it with submission wrestling.
Just no closed hands. Everything else was good.
There were a lot of fixed fights.
Yes.
But, there's been fixed fights in every sport. So,
Ken Shamrock had a brother?
Yeah, it's Frank, right?
Yeah.
Frank
he was a champion in the UFC. He beat Tito.
Yeah. He was undefeated in the UFC.
Wait, wasn't he? I get Ken and Frank mixed up a lot, I guess. Which one was the coach on The Ultimate Fighter?
Frank.
That was Ken.
Ken. Okay.
Ken lost to Tito.
That's why.
Times.
Three times. Yeah.
It's crazy that Frank beat him, but Ken couldn't.
It's because Frank blended everything.
Frank was the first mixed martial artist.
Yeah, he went and got Tsuyoshi Kosaka and Maurice Smith, and then they all got together with AKA. He was.
That's awesome. So annoyingly handsome.
I know. I mean, I got a haircut this one. Oh, you're talking about that guy.
I'm talking about Frank. Frank and Ken look a lot alike, right? But they're not really related. They're adopted.
The old guy, Bob Shamrock, he fostered kids.
So, wait, that's his foster dad?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, Frank, you can do it, man.
So they took his last name, I guess.
Yeah, he adopted him. And,
damn, I did not know that.
Now, is that Pat Smith or Maurice?
That's Pat Smith. Which Pat Smith was a good kickboxer.
Are they related?
No.
Okay.
No, you racist.
Well, it's the last name.
And they're both kickboxers, so I can understand. But Maurice Smith, man, was a whole different level of kickboxer.
I think Ken had the right idea as far as doing everything. He was a fighter. He was a wrestler. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Was he the very best at any of it? No. But he was like, I'm going to make my money, boss. They're both connected. I'm going to do all of that. But I like that.
The sport had to make a progression, too.
Yes. It's crazy how people just keep getting better. Go ahead.
Well, that goes back to me talking about the cult thing. I've been on this rant for a while, the cult mentality with martial arts. Because, when Frank left the Lion's Den, they didn't want anything to do with him. They wanted, for death to Frank.
Yeah, I remember that.
Just because he left the gym, he's like, hey, it's better for me to work out. Now, who cares? If it's better for you, go over there. Go
do that.
You don't have this problem in boxing gyms, so I don't know why it's this way with MMA, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing. Who cares where you train at?
Yeah, just get your work in. Yeah. Now, I am going to put you on the spot tiny here. Nothing crazy.
Uh-oh.
Hey, buddy. Nothing crazy. When you were here coaching us for a while, when you left, it was really a lack of people, and I think you were probably a little aggravated with people not showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think that's such a problem here? Why are there not more people training here? And then the people that do train here, why are they not showing up to train?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Maybe there's just not enough interest in it. I wouldn't even say it's self-doubt because, go have a beer at any restaurant around here and you can hear three people talking about how badass they are.
Too much work and time.
Maybe it's just the population isn't big enough because, even
for a minute though, we were packed, man. We was having 10, 12 and packed for us. For a minute, middle of last year, we didn't have enough space.
Yeah.
And we was pushing them because, hey, we're going to fight people. We're going to push you.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden.
Yeah. I guess people, it's not like football where you have a season.
That's what
maybe Americans are too, they have a small attention span. I can do something for 3 months out of the year. I can't do something that's year round. You know, like we don't get a break, we don't get a time off. No, it's.
Are you going to fight people or
yeah,
not?
yeah? I mean, it's constantly evolving. It's, I don't know. Chad always used to say it. It's this fast food mentality. You know, I just want to be able to do it once or twice and be able to do it. You know.
No.
Oh, well, I had 5 amateur fights. I'm ready to be a pro now. No, you need the experience. You know, you hear Demetrius Johnson talk about all the crazy amateur experience he had. You know, like Matt Hume putting him through. You know, you got to go do a grappling tournament, then you got to do a kickboxing match, then you got to go do a boxing match, then go back to a grappling tournament. You know, meanwhile, people do like 2 or 3 amateur fights. Oh, I'm a pro now. I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
and
they want everything quick, man.
They do.
I tried to get through to them. I would tell them, like, and that's the same reason I quit. I shouldn't have to think about what I'm going to teach, blah, blah, blah. And then I get there and it's me and one other person show up. That's incredibly aggravating. And we were giving good class. Tyler, you was there on pad nights. We'd smoke people out. We'd teach cool stuff. Always trying to teach good stuff. Always trying to, even for the seminars, bringing in good seminars. We would just, I can't make it on Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. What the hell are you talking about? You can't make it Saturday morning at 11 o'clock.
But if a football game was on,
you can watch football and drink a beer. And then, so I would tell them, finally near the end, before I'm closing the gym at the end of the month just because I'm tired of, I can't hold your hand, man. I'm 30 years old. Yeah. If you're not going to do work, I can't do the work for you. I'm not going to sit here and worry about it. I got a wife, 4 kids. But I told them, I said, you motherfuckers don't want to show up and get your work in. I said, an hour and a half up the road in Huntsville, y'all are getting outworked by them. Every gym that's in Huntsville. I said, every gym in Chattanooga, y'all are getting outworked by. I said, Billy's gym, Chuck's gym, blah, blah, blah. We're getting outworked by all of them just because we ain't even showing up to do it. And that just wasn't enough to get through. Like, we're not just going to beat all those people. You know, if you're not working. The only fights I won was when I was really, really working hard. My weight was right. I was getting my work in. If no one showed up, I got a boss. I did this, 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 and this. You can be it's easy to get motivated, right? That's a 2-second speech. Wham, wham, wham. We can do this shit, brothers. Wah! Hard to stay dedicated, though.
Oddly enough, I saw a YouTube short with Andrew Tate recently that actually broke it down really well. Somebody asked him, like, how do you stay motivated? It's like, I don't stay motivated. Motivation is bullshit. I stay disciplined. Yeah. I do it every day, whether I want to or not. And, you know, if you want to be a fighter, that's what you got to do. My clock drill that I showed all of you guys, you know, that was like family.
Great drill. Great drill.
That was family secrets. Like Chet got on my ass about, you don't show that to everybody. Only select people, you know, and I was teaching it to everybody.
Great drill.
And that's what really changed me from getting my ass kicked in the gym every day to the next thing you know, I'm actually Chet's wanting me to compete. I'm winning all my fights. And, but I did that clock drill every day. And that was what Chet told me. Do that every day and you'll be all right. And so I get up in the morning before I go to work. And at this time, I was living in Stevenson, Alabama, and driving to Chattanooga for work and for training. And I did that 6 days a week. Get up in the morning, do 5 rounds of the clock drill, just working my footwork like crazy. Get to Chat's early before you know how it is at every fight gym. Class starts at 6, but people like mill around to like 6:15, 6:30. You know. So
and you can change time to show up too. You can bump it up 30 minutes, still late.
Yeah. And so while everybody was milling around, I was out there doing that clock drill. And that's what changed that tedious stuff. Like people don't want to know, man, I want to be like Floyd Mayweather and have a defense, you know, have that crazy defense. Okay, well, let's work pads. Okay, I did all those pad flows. Think I'm ready? Like, no, Floyd does that every day. You know,
that's an every day. It's a grind, man.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. I've had people message me and say, "Hey, man, I want to fight." I'm like, "Well, what do I got to do?" I'm like, "Get your ass in the gym and let's see if you can fight." You know?
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Okay. Well, look, man, I just want you to know, man, that like, I've just been thinking on it, and I just want to show my kids that anything is possible. And I'm like, you know, and I'm laughing at you. I'm laughing at you. As you say it, I'm like, you dumb shit. Yeah. Right? That's okay. Yeah. You dumb idiot fuck. Okay, say that. I just want to show my kids anything's possible in life, man. I can just do it. Okay, well, we'll see you at practice tomorrow. Where you at, dog?
Never comes.
What are you talking about? You show your kids anything is possible. You can't even show up and do the basic necessity of it. Yeah. How are you going to make weight? How you gonna run when it's, well, I don't want to run. Well, you're gonna have to. You need to run some.
Yeah.
How you gonna do the very basic necessity of it if you can't just show up to practice? You ain't Allen Iverson, motherfucker. You're a normal fucking person in DeKalb County, Jackson County, Tennessee, wherever you're at. You're normal. You're normal. If you were some like next level athlete, someone would have done snatched you up. Show up, work, and let's see what happens. People can't do that.
But I got into a fight when I was in middle school, and I kicked everybody's ass.
That's great, man. That's awesome. Come up here, you'll get lit up. You might, and that's what people don't get. Is people show up and they might do good for like. I got meaner recently. As far as like for a while, I'd grapple with people or kickbox with people and let them do good. You know, I'm just a nice person. And finally, I was like, well, no, I'm gonna drop everybody. Maybe not to the head, but your belly's getting fucked up. And jiu-jitsu and stuff, I'm gonna sub you if I can. You know what I mean? And so some people can show up and do good for around 30 seconds, maybe a minute. But all of a sudden they're huffing and buffing like, well, no, dude, I'm gonna really whoop your ass now. Like just because like you're not used to this. You got to have a gas tank. You got to know what you're doing. You got to have some comfort in there. Literally, the first step is stepping onto the mats that you paid to do. You paid the month for it. Show up so we can all get the work. And that's just what, man, I finally got so aggravated.
Didn't Chet say that fatigue makes cowards?
That was Theodore Roosevelt, I think. So.
No shit.
Yeah.
But Chet would take credit for it.
Still, it's a true ass statement. When you get tired as fuck, you're like, oh shit,
this sucks.
Chet used to always. Shit. He always said this Joe Louis saying actually, and who knows if Joe Louis got it from somebody else. It sounded like it came from Joe. For those people that really knew Joe, it sounds like something Joe would say. Is that there's only two things you can ensure of in a fight. Like the outcome of it, nobody knows because there is, even with no matter how good you are, there's still a tiny bit of luck that goes into fighting. But the only two things for sure that you know of in a fight is your skill and you're in shape. Is that if you show up without one or the other, you know, it's not going to work out because you can show up with all the skill in the world, but if you're not in shape, you're good for maybe a minute, you know, and then what are you going to do? That skill's out the window. If you show up in shape and without the skill, well, then you're just in shape for the ass whooping. Yeah. You know?
You get the shit out of you for a long time.
In shape for the ass whooping, you're going to get a lot longer, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see it all the time. Not all the time, but in high school you would see it. It's actually how I realized like Trevor was tough was in high school. Because I wasn't really fighting like Trevor in high school. It took me I wasn't just born fighting people. It took me a long time to learn how to. Now, there was times me and Trevor would spar in the yard and stuff, and he would set me on my ass. I'd get mad, and we'd have good rounds and stuff. But as far as just knowing how to bite down and be tough and shit, I don't think I'm ever just going to be really tough. I think I have to be, like, on point, calm, and cerebral about my shit. Because it's just the way you taught me and stuff. It's what I feel good. And I remember you'd see it in high school, people would start fighting, and, man, they might be whooping on him for a minute, or other people even. Me and Kane Tony fought a couple of times. You'll fight people and they'll whoop your ass a minute. What do they say when they whoop your ass? Once they're tired of whooping your ass, Jeff, what do they say?
Oh, I don't know. I was too busy getting my ass kicked most of the time.
But once they're tired of whooping your ass and you're still awake, they're going to go, oh, man, I'm tired. I'm done. Oh, motherfucker. I'm awake still. Now we're fighting now because now we get our piece in because people whoop on you for a minute. If they get you out, all right, you're out. But if you're still up,
regular people ain't expecting that. Longevity.
No, I'm tired. I'm
Hell
done.
No, it's like 30 seconds we're fighting and then that's it.
No. So people show up to the gym, they might do good for that 30 seconds to that minute. All right, man, you hit me pretty hard. Now let me get my licks in because I'm
and then when you're not tired and they're fucking tired and you're just beating the shit out.
Why are you breathing heavy? Yeah. That's how people are. They'll whoop on your ass, but once they realize you're tough, they're like, no, I'm tired, man. I'm tired of this shit. Tired of what?
I'm done.
You about to feel real bad.
Well, you know, the goofy people that call and say that stuff. He was like, I beat everybody up in middle school. And it automatically puts a chip on my shoulder because like, I got my ass kicked by everybody in middle school. I don't think I ever won a fight in school.
I won. So up until 5th grade, I was bullied religiously, man. I remember these two girls, I was at the skating rink one night, and they walked by me and they said, you should just kill yourself. And I went, I remember thinking, I was like, well, that was mean as hell. And now, like,
a little bit, just a little bit.
And then after, in like 7th grade, I went to boot camp, and I came out of boot camp, and I was real mad, so I fought everybody, and I whooped a lot of people's ass. And that's when I started liking MMA and stuff. But I see those two girls now, like out with their husbands and stuff, you know, like regularly at like Walmart or Foodland. Yeah. And it takes everything into me not to walk up to their husband and go, hey, man, sure about that train at Outer? 2004.
Yeah.
I don't say it because I'm not a bad person.
Right, yeah.
But I want to. The want to is there. That's the devil. But people are mean.
See, the referees didn't know anything.
Yeah,
like today, they would have stopped it.
They would have stopped it by far. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, well, what are you waiting on?
That's
What are you waiting on?
Can your viewers see the TV or anything?
No, I can't show the.
I say that's why.
Okay, so
we had one more.
But if we show the TV, they'll pull the string.
Wait.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
yes.
UFC one
copyright.
We're watching their content.
It's UFC copyright. We can't do it.
But
now people have got away with holding a controller and acting like
yeah.
they're playing.
That's good. Dude.
For the people that didn't see it, though, Kevin Rosier against Gerard Gordeau. Gordeau had him in the corner, and he's just giving up, and the referee's just standing there staring like, I don't know what to do.
Like Mario Yamasaki today.
Yeah, well,
If he dies, he dies. Herb Dean, maybe.
I don't know. I think
he did
I think it's a bad ref. I think he's
hook.
good.
Yeah.
And he did a shovel hook, that down quick uppercut. That's a shovel hook, right?
Hey, you can be seen either way.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just kicking.
But that
Kevin
shovel
Rozier's
hook
ass.
is good to get when somebody's shelling up, right?
Not necessarily to the head. If somebody's changing levels on you a lot, like you got a lot of head movement, or like a more of a wrestling or grappling heavy based fighter, it's a good move to use to catch them as they're shooting in.
How I talked to you about it the other day. How does Perea look like he's not hitting hard at all? He's not. There's no load up. There's nothing crazy. He's not grunting. He's not wah. None of that. He's just fucking touching them, bank, and they're crumbling out. What's going on?
Man, good technique, and then at the same time,
he's not straining to do it. He's just
At the same time, some of these people just have freak power.
Yeah,
like crazy power. Even guys that don't have there's guys out there that don't have good technique, and then they still have crazy power. I remember I got knocked out as an amateur. I lost my championship to a guy, Joe Watson, really nice guy. Friends with the guy now, but he was tailor made for the way I fought. He's just a brawler, threw really untechnical, and I was like, man, I'm gonna walk circles around this guy with my footwork, a good clean technique. But that dude could hit so hard, though. I've never been hit that hard in my life. He'd knock me out, It
cuts off.
So I, some people just have that freak power, like if you ever watched Gerald McClellan, boxer from back in the day, freak power, and just knocked out everybody. And
you got a couple of questions. Who do you got? Do you have any picks for the fights tonight?
No, not really.
Jeff doesn't watch like that. He's just cool.
Give me 2 weeks to watch the fight. I don't get to watch them live anymore. They're too expensive.
I'm not doing any more AFC shows unless we get like some crazy rich sponsor. So I'm out on that. I think Chad Finnerty is going to try to make the show happen in March, but I'm out on that. The mushroom does turn on. Zach asked, would you rather take an elbow from John Jones or an uppercut from Francis Ngannou?
Yet again, there's a reason why I took up coaching instead of fighting. I realized really quick I wasn't very good at the whole fighting part of things, but I had a lot of knowledge about it. So
very knowledgeable.
I don't want to take either one of them.
Yeah, that's the knowledge.
I don't even want them to flip me on the end of the nose.
Maybe on the penis.
Just so I could say it happened.
One guy did take an uppercut to the junk from him on Jackass.
Oh yeah, the newest one, yeah.
And they said as hard as he can. That wasn't near as hard as he can.
That wasn't the Overeem uppercut.
No, so with Alistair with Francis Ngannou, Overeem's better technically. A whole lot of people are better than Ngannou technically. He doesn't look that good when you watch it live. It's not good,
but he's getting better.
Yeah. But I'm talking about when he fought Rosenstruck on paper, better kickboxer.
Yeah.
When he fought
Overeem, definitely was. More credentialed.
But like when he fought Rosenstruck, it was.
Yeah.
The dude was asleep with Overeem way down here. Yeah. Is he just get like what? Why is he just able to get? Is the power making up for all that lack of ability?
Yeah, that's part of the.
That's wild.
That's what I love about fighting, though, and it doesn't matter. It's not just MMA. It's every combat sport. It's not like any other sport. Like if you go watch a football game and we're in the fourth quarter and there's 10 seconds left and it's 48-0, well, you know who's going to win. A lot of times they just walk off the field. How many fights have you seen?
No, that's a good point.
Like how many fights have you seen where there's only 10 seconds left and the guy he's going to lose no matter what.
Multiple times this year.
Yeah, the Usman Leon Edwards fight, for instance.
Perea was losing.
Losing Adesanya. It's
who do you think wins the rematch?
I'm actually going to go with Adesanya.
I think so. So because like at the end of the first, that fight was a couple more seconds. That fight's over.
Okay.
I think Adesanya's probably gonna wrestle a little more too.
I thought Adesanya was going to win this one.
I did. I had a gut feeling too.
I have to give it to Rocky Quinn. He called it. He was like, "There's no way." Come on,
there's a way, Rocky.
Yeah, it's
Zach said you have to pick one or get your penis cut off. So uppercut from Ngannou or elbow from Jones?
Your dick's cut off.
I'll take the uppercut.
He said, "Oh God,
no," because
like I'm just here like.
But he has to choose one or his dick's cut off.
I would take the elbow.
Well, I mean, most people, if most people had seen my penis, they'd be like, "You're not losing much, man. You should go with." But I'll take the uppercut.
Vicky looked over here and nodded at me. She said, "Yours either." I was like, leave me alone.
Same.
I guess I am going to have you some of that. You didn't try that apple pie yet, did you?
No, I'm
gonna send you some
good.
home. For Christmas.
Wait a minute. I forgot. Yeah, you sent that home. I forgot. I haven't tried it. I've still got it. Got it hidden.
So where's that obstacle course that y'all been running?
Well, it's not really an obstacle course.
But in Chattanooga, yeah.
Shepherd Park Community Center.
Where's that close to? Chattanooga.
Shepherd Road.
I don't know. Shepherd. Okay.
It's right off Shepherd Road.
Choo-choo. Chattanooga choo-choo. Where's the Chattanooga choo-choo?
It's not far off of 153.
That helps out.
But yeah, it's just a little community center, and they've got different little obstacles. And my wife and I, we turned it into this crazy thing. You run to one, and you do push-ups, sit-ups, and Sarah, what else is there? You fence jumps. It's got a bar. You
about 6 foot fences.
Well, it's not that tall, but and then you run to the next station and you do pull-ups, V-ups, and leg raises. Run to another one, you do dips and log jumps and all this, and then you just keep. And then the last one is you're supposed to stretch, but I added squats and jumping lunges to it, and man, it really kicks your ass.
Really? How many times do you do that?
4 times.
4 times a day?
No, 4 times a day. Jesus.
No. 4 times while you're there.
Yeah.
Okay, and that makes a mile?
Yeah.
What advice? Okay, so have you ever heard of psychedelic mushrooms, things like that?
Yes. Yeah.
What advice?
I feel like this is a loaded question all of a sudden.
So I heard a story once about a guy kickboxing against a dude on psychedelic mushrooms. What would your advice be in that situation?
I personally wouldn't do that, but to each their own. Supposedly there's a lot of Thais that smoke cigarettes and take a shot of whiskey before they fight.
That's all they do. They smoke cigarettes all day.
To each their own, I guess. I couldn't do anything like that.
I just can't imagine. I can't even talk to people. Like in the past when I made a mushroom, years ago, I couldn't even talk to people. I can't read.
By myself.
Can't read.
By the way, this podcast is not condoning usage of illicit.
No. If you do it, you're a piece of shit. You can go fuck yourself and go to hell, you piece of fucking shit.
As soon as we asked that question, Zach said, "Y'all ever listen to Imagine Dragons?"
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
No.
I like one song by Imagine
Which
Dragons.
one? Nerd. No, I don't know that.
I'm not even sure if I've heard of Imagine Dragons. I'm sure I have. I just don't know what it is.
With a short fuse.
Oh, Jesus.
So you have heard.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah, everybody knows it. Because it's played on radio.
Zach said, "Imagine dragging these nuts on your face."
Oh, shit. You got it.
You piece of shit.
That's good.
I'm not ever riding 4-wheelers with you again, you piece of garbage.
So we got Ken Shamrock against Hoist Gracie. Do you know how this one ends?
And probably Royce Gracie gets.
Hey, you stop shitting on the Brazilians. Pronounce it with an H.
Hoist, but it's with an R. It's Royce.
But it's Portuguese, though.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I gotta shift.
Brazil. What do you think about the Russians taking over, though?
As
taking
far as
over?
Like
MMA
Ukraine
goes,
or MMA? Which one are you talking about?
Both. But why are we paying? So to you, why are we paying them so much money? Ukraine so much money.
Who?
Why is America giving Ukraine so much money? You just said it, is why I asked. But what do you think
because
about?
You can't help.
What do you think about the Russians taking over MMA really as a whole?
Yeah.
I didn't think Charles Oliveira was losing to Makhachev. I didn't think that at all.
I did. I called that.
I didn't at all.
I thought it would be by decision, though, and he surprised me with.
For me, Makhachev looked so jacked that fight.
Yeah.
More jacked than we've ever seen. Russians love steroids.
Yeah.
That motherfucker is the real deal.
I don't know. I guess it's just different culture. Again, they're making it work. They've got wrestling in school. They got boxing in school. What we do for sport?
We got football. Woo!
Yeah.
My kid got a concussion in the state championship game.
You got these kids are coming up.
What's he doing after school? He's working the factory.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
That's where I was.
He didn't get a call to the NFL or college ball? No.
All these.
But he got a ring.
He
does got a ring, and that is cool.
That is cool. Communist countries, though. I mean, that they've got the stuff in school that they can actually use. They got combat sambo in school. These kids are doing basically MMA when they're 8 years old, and then they're doing the individual sports on top of it. They're doing wrestling and boxing, part of a school sport. You go to China, they're doing sando, which is basically the stand-up portion of MMA.
Yeah,
it's all the way down through Southeast Asia. There's always some sort of combat sport. Back in the day, you remember 40s and 50s. Every school had a wrestling team. Every school had a boxing team.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a school that didn't even have a wrestling team.
Me too. No wrestling team.
Yeah,
none of that.
Well, yeah, Northeast Alabama in general. There's one school in this area that has a wrestling team. Maybe two.
Crazy to me. Every time Ken fought Hoist, he bitched. It seems like he whines and gets angry.
That's because he lost.
Yeah.
He did the same thing with Tito. Remember?
But he's like, I didn't lose. Like, well, dude, you quit.
Yeah.
Think that's just the competition in him, or just he's kind of a sport kid?
Maybe a little both.
I think because the way I've read, he was a little sport by the adopted dad.
Yeah, I mean,
they were beat on some, but he was put on this pedestal.
Yeah. My thing, and you see it all the time. There's always, I love the cliches that go around fighting.
Yeah,
MMA especially, they're the worst about cliches because everyone always has an excuse why they didn't win.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't win because I had this going on.
God didn't want me to. God didn't want me to win today.
Yeah, I'm just like,
does God watch fights? You think and pick a winner?
Well, you know how cynical.
But let's say you did believe in God and Jesus. Do you think
you're a cynic? Are you Diogenes?
Let's just say it's like let's say not God. Let's say something else. Let's say that.
This is how cynical I am about stuff, though. When regional shows, I'm even picking on yours, Sam. I'm sorry.
Oh shoot!
But there's always a prayer before it, and then usually there's a prayer with a whole audience, and then individual teams are praying in the back and stuff. I get, do whatever's comfortable for you by all means. But the funniest thing is keep all these fighters safe. Wait a minute.
But we want blood, though.
Do you know the definition of fighting here?
Yeah.
Somebody has to get their ass kicked in order for there to be a winner.
We just want him to Khabib them, man.
Yeah. But let every fighter be safe and take care of them. Hey, that's not how fighting works. Somebody's getting their ass kicked at the end of the day.
That's a good point. I'll say this one goes Jeff.
I mean, even if no matter what you believe, Christian, Islam, whatever,
Hindu, whatever,
you can't ask the impossible.
That is true.
I mean, no matter what God you're praying to, He can't do all of that, or he, she, they. Whatever they can't do.
Well, Tommy paid his taxes, so I'm going to go with Tommy on this one.
Man, he was real nice. But he gave 20% at the church.
Yeah, he did. So I'm going with Tommy.
You brought up earlier. I had a good head kick back in the day. I had 3 head kick knockouts, 2 in kickboxing and 1 in MMA. I can't be like, God, be with my head kick and keep my opponent safe, though. No, I'm giving him a concussion.
Let my sword strike true, oh Lord.
Allah, please let me knock this guy out, but don't give him any brain damage. That's not the.
I never prayed ever to win a fight. I do believe in God and Jesus. I prayed to let me be tough because that's hard for me. I'm a little spoiled. I got good grandmother. I got good wife. I got 4 kids. I'm a little spoiled. It's hard for me to chomp down. So I did pray, hey, please let me be tough. I do believe in God and Jesus in that sense. I think God will give me at least the ability, and whether someone else believes in that or not, I do. And for me, that's my prayer. Please let me be safe. Let me be tough about everything I'm doing, because it's a hard game to play. But what I don't believe in is like, man, I prayed to God before I got out there. And I told him, man, please, God, if you would just let me beat this guy. Because I just think I can really beat this man. And God, I need you to let me do it. And God was like, all right, man, you are kid in Africa with no food, kid over here with cancer. I'm gonna let you
get Sam to win this fight right here.
Yeah.
You're more important, Sam.
You gonna win your fight, big dog. Crazy to me.
The cliches, like I said, the cliches.
Pops on here, I believe. Kenneth Young, or does he go by
Ken
Young?
Yeah. Well, he goes by Ken, but
okay.
you know.
Well, he's Kenneth on YouTube. He said, there's no wrestling in Detroit public schools in my day. Ken, you still live in Detroit? And have you ever been to 8 Mile? Because I used to sleep over there at the park. If you need a place to sleep, the park's that away. I've got him in the next battle rap, but he tore me up at first.
Actually, I think Pops grew up not too far from 8 Mile.
That's cool. I love the Eminem 8 Mile story. All that. It's a good movie. But I can. You ever remember when what was it? Chell would say. He said, there was years my dad didn't even make $100,000.
yeah.
He said,
just be honest with it.
He said, we had a maid, but she only came like twice a week. Who do you think was doing the dishes the rest of the week? Maid. He said, 2 girls, there was twins next door. Their daddy bought them a car. They didn't get to drive separately. They had to share that vehicle. It's rough in the streets of Westland, Oregon. Yeah, he was rich. He also he caught a felony for, what was it on the set?
It had something to do with real estate.
Real estate fraud, yes.
Yeah.
Real estate
fraud.
No
shit.
Something above my understanding.
Yeah.
That is Hoyce's daddy.
And his brother.
Yeah. On the right?
Yeah. That's Horian. That's the guy that came up with the idea of the UFC.
That's awesome.
Well, that goes back to what you were asking about the Russian takeover with MMA. I don't know how the validity to the story, but
Ken said 8 miles the border of Detroit. The guy told me if I needed a place to sleep, the park's that. And Ken, I ain't never been so damn mad in my life. They called me B Rabbit at the time. So man, I came on my A game on the next. I have relatives in Detroit, my grandparents-in-law. Go ahead.
But going to one of these fights, when Sid Wheeler was fighting for Brave, went over to India and was hanging out with some guys that said that they had traveled doing judo. And those old Eastern Bloc countries, those former Soviet countries, supposedly they get all kinds of training all day. Again, it's part of their school curriculum. They get to train, but if they decide to take it to a professional level, that they get subsidies for their family farm. They make it seem like these guys they have this rough life where they're just out here slaving away and they have to work on the farm all day before they can go train, and they can barely. But that's actually not the case, though. They're getting these subsidies from the government.
Russia takes very good care of their athletes.
Yeah, that pays for everything, pays for their training, pays for their nutrition. And they're just hanging around, getting to train 3 or 4 times a day, getting a rest in between. And then meanwhile, at that time, here's me and Sid. I'm working 2 jobs and, trying to find time to train people. Sid's working 2 jobs, trying to find time to get his training in,
Sid's one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever walk the planet.
And, and they're making it out like we're the rich kids,
These rich American assholes.
Yes.
Now, so have you ever seen Foxcatcher?
No.
Definitely worth a watch.
Wait, what is it on?
You'd have to probably rent it on Redbox, but it's called Foxcatcher. It's about what's the names of the 2 brothers?
They're
2 brothers that wrestled in real life.
Just went out.
One of them got to fight in the UFC.
By professional wrestling?
No.
Actual real wrestling.
And
they fought in UFC 7 against Gary Goodrich.
Yeah, the brother did. So one brother gets killed by the guy on Foxcatcher.
Man, I can't believe it.
It's hard. It's a drop. Hang on, I know how to find out.
Yeah, DuPont was the name of the coach.
Yeah,
Steve Carell plays DuPont. Like he actually does a great job of acting.
But it's a good movie.
Man,
I feel bad because I'm always the fight encyclopedia.
It's the Schultz.
Yeah, Mark Schultz.
Mark and David Schultz.
Yeah.
One of them got to fight for the UFC. One of them gets shot point blank, bam. He said, "You got a problem with me?" Say no.
No.
So,
shot him like 6 times in front of his wife. He had blood on his hands, pick kids up because he's supposed to pick up the kids from school, man. Crazy, real true story. But the reason Foxcatcher, the guy said, he said it because he wanted to pump himself up. But the reason he was saying that he wanted to do it was because Russia is over here, man, they're juicing their athletes to the gills. Russia was tearing through amateur wrestling. They were killing everybody, and they wanted to really beat Russia. So he said, well, I'll make a place. And what he did was, so if you watch the movie, there's a scene where the guy, he goes and does a speech at a school with his gold medal from the Olympics. He's doing this speech, yada, yada. They write him a check for like $250. He goes and buys a cheeseburger, goes to a shithole home. You go and look at the Russians, man. They're like, they're well, even fighters today are well taken care of by those people, man. They live good. They make sure they got food, water, their families took care of. It's cool because they want their athletic, they want to matter athletically because they think that equates to like, you know, we're the big shit, you know. And Russians for a long time were shooting their athletes up. They had like this deal with their doctors and stuff. Even for the Olympics, you can look it up. It's there's a documentary called Icarus. And man, they were blood doping them. They'd shoot them up, and then if it was time for a drug test, nothing popped. Nothing, man. It's crazy.
Well, that's the whole like catch with the USADA thing. You know, is I don't know if USADA is actually going to Kazakhstan and Dagestan, all these places to test like they're doing the guys that live in America.
Seems like a whole lot more Americans on that list than Russians and stuff.
But at the same time, if they've grown up doing steroids, well, the damage is already done. Yeah, you know, they've already got all that muscle fiber built in.
At like 6.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Leo would be fucking huge.
And they're like, well, they're not on they're not on steroids now. But yeah, but they've already put in all that years of work on the steroids. They didn't have that crazy refractory time after training like we do.
So you think and that's another thing. People think steroids are just to get big. No, you can take steroids to keep you small. Lance Armstrong, man, he's what like that. Lance popped the same stuff Dillashaw popped. Dillashaw's a high output fighter.
What?
Right? EPO. Yeah. High output, right? Tell him what EPO does because I don't want to say it wrong.
I'll probably tell you. I truth be told, I don't really understand. I know it's erythropoietin. That I even enunciated it wrong. But it's basically taking your blood cells out of your body, and then breaking your body down, and then once your body's broke down, putting those healthy blood cells back in you, and so you recover twice as fast.
The way I've heard it is whatever makes the oxygen cells, it's pumping that up. Wow, and it's making you crazy. So like they would have to get up at like midnight, 3 a.m, and go ride a bike because their blood's just thick, and they're like, if not, they die. But that's why Lance Armstrong's over here pumping.
But it's giving more oxygen to your blood.
Yes.
That's what it's doing.
Yes. So that's why.
So you can have more endurance.
Yeah, endurance athlete.
Yeah.
Dillashaw is a high output athlete. That's endurance. Lance Armstrong, if Lance is here, if Lance is 2 miles down the road, everybody else behind him, he's laughing. Hi, it's cool, man. This is awesome. You know, he's like, buy this yellow wristband for cancer, nut cancer. But they were cheating. And Dillashaw popped for the same thing, man, EPO. And it's so what I'm trying to ask is, if someone's on steroids, how long before the effects are you can't turn them off?
Permanent.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I think you remember this. I had a fighter at one time, a really young guy, that asked me about steroids, and I was like, I have a very minuscule understanding of the endocrine system, but it's still better than the average guy. And I'd be too scared to mess around with it. So what makes you think that some dude in the gym that's selling you stuff is like, oh, bro, you just take this? You know, what makes you think that this guy knows anything? You know, that like, and especially being a young fighter too. I don't know.
He was very clearly juiced because you can see from. It's just, and even seeing him now, it's like, dude, you were on that gear, man.
Yeah.
And another thing that people don't get about steroids, and what I was trying to say earlier, is it's not just to make you bigger or stronger or meaner. And it does. I think if you're an animal and you put the juice in, you're more animal. You're more animal is what I believe. But another thing that it does is, say you're training really hard, man. Normal person, you're training what, twice a day?
I mean,
and that's hard. You're gonna have hard recovery, you know, things like that. But they can also give you stuff that you take with it. It supplements your stuff. And so instead of you being like, man, I really need a break today, I really got to recover. No, man, you can pump out 2 or 3 more workouts, go to bed.
Do you think professional fighters are doing steroids?
We know Jones is.
Yeah. And this is actually I was having a conversation with someone the other day about this. I'm not even looking down on steroids. I don't care if they do it because I take creatine every day. How is it different me taking creatine and them taking a steroid? I'm just scared of steroids.
What is the difference?
Exactly. What is the difference? Because I mean, like the clinical definition of steroid is a hormone that's made from fat.
Do you think it affects your mind though, in a way that it could be harmful for people around you?
I can't speak to that as far as being harmful to the people around you. That comes down to you at the end of the day.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
No, that does. But
what about Cowboys on the juice right now?
Yeah.
And he still seems like a nice guy on the play, but he's yoked up, son.
Yeah.
He's yoked up.
But really though, I don't understand how it's any different than taking any other exogenous supplement. Because I'm using creatine as an example. Is that you take a scoop of creatine and that's 60 grams of creatine in that one little scoop. Well, I would have had to eat like 8 steaks to be able to get that amount of creatine naturally. So how's that any different? Well, he went and took testosterone. That's illegal. His nuts produce that. Does it mean his nuts are illegal now? I mean,
But you can go to the doctor though, like at my age and your age.
Yeah.
I'm 35. How old are you?
36.
Yeah.
I'm
We're the
old.
same age.
Yeah.
He's fucking like 5 years.
I imagine in reverse.
Yeah.
Still kind of out here. Look at this.
And
Yeah,
our
you got the Benjamin
testosterone is
Button.
going to
We're
drop.
working on it.
And so you can go to the doctor and get
My doctor's awesome.
tested
Now,
for testosterone.
I think I am going to get tested for testosterone just because like I wear really tight pants and it's like squeezing the hell out of my nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm worried sometimes. And Vicky made me get snipped, so I'm worried it's messed up my testosterone. She says it doesn't, but I'm also like,
Supposedly it doesn't.
yeah, well, I don't know for sure.
But
The pants are too tight.
well, how people will just because you're involved in fighting, they'll ask you about steroids. Do you know somebody? It's like, do I look like I'm?
Yeah.
Like
Do I at all?
if I do look like that, well, thank you. I must be doing great.
Right.
But I always tell people like, go see your doctor. Like that's the best
I reached
drug
out.
But
dealer
even
you can
if
get.
you did go see a doctor, you wouldn't need to take steroids year round.
I reached out.
No, they have it on because again, they understand the endocrine system. They can sit there and tell you how to wean yourself off.
I reached out to a person that I know, and that has been accused of stuff. So I reached out to that person and I said, "Hey, what? Hey, man, what would you advise?" And he came back to me. He said, "Well, this is." I said, "What if I took this and this?" He said, "No, don't take that. You're going to beat your life." I said, well, "Okay." I said, "Okay,
I'll fucking hold on that one."
But I wanted advice because I don't know. He said, "Don't take that. You're going to beat the shit out of your wife. You're going to divorce." I said, "Okay, I won't do that." He said, I said, "All right." I said, "So what would you advise?" He said, "Well, if I was going to advise you myself, I would say take this, this, and this." And one was, I don't remember what. One was something else. The other was to get extra workouts in. He said, "You're going to feel like $1 million every fucking day when you wake up. You're going to be not sore at all. Do 10 workouts a day, nothing." And I was like, "All right." He said, "But honestly, what I would tell you to do is go to a hormone clinic and ask them to test your levels and then go from there. See what they tell you to take." He said, "Because if you just go buy stuff from some dude, you don't know if that's shit they just made like in their bathtub. And then they're shooting that up. You don't know. Because you don't know what you're getting unless it's legally at an office." So really, steroids are kind of legal right now. Because if you can just go to a hormone clinic, "Hey, how are we looking, doc?" Like, "Oh, you're low, man. Dick not working good, huh?"
Yeah.
It's again, they should make everything legal so that way there's somebody in charge of it. You don't have
I think so too.
Like Billy Bob making testosterone in a bathtub in the back.
What about Viagra?
What about it?
So just hear me out.
Is this performance enhancing drug as well?
Well, that's what I'm getting to. So for bodybuilders, before they go out and get their pose off and shit, they'll pop a Viagra to get that blood flow going. Now I've ate one in the past, right? And I know where I'm at right now. We're pretty normal, right? I'm not red faced or anything.
Yeah.
Right? If you eat one of them, all of a sudden you're like, what if you ate a half one before a fight? Would that not be like, "Hey man, he's rock hard over here. He's up a bit." Is that not performance enhancing? Is that one? Because it is. I'm assuming when you take a Viagra, I don't know.
He got a hard dick.
Yeah, but I assume scientifically, if you take a Viagra and all of a sudden you're a raging boner, your testosterone's got to be through the roof right then.
Yeah, I don't know.
So all of a sudden, if you're an animal kind of a docile one. All of a sudden, no, you're not. You can smell blood and other.
Yeah. Well, again, this is the guy that doesn't have a degree in anything, so I don't know. I can't speak of that from a medical standpoint or anything, but I don't know. I don't want to fuck around with my endocrine system whatsoever.
We had some good conversations.
Unless it's under a doctor's supervision. Yeah.
Kim said you can abuse any of it. Pops did, and I agree. I agree 100%. You can abuse anything. If you was to go to the doctor like Vitor, he was on TRT.
Yeah.
Not regularly.
And then there's always going to be corrupt doctors. So, like Vitor's
was Bisping talking shit about Vitor?
He wasn't talking shit. It's true.
Yeah.
So Vitor, you can look up pictures, man. Vitor was a normal-looking guy. Kinda. So, when he first got to the UFC, Crazy Jack blew it out of his mind.
Fought at heavyweight when he first got
no shit. How tall was he? Like
he's only like 5'10" or 5'11".
5'9". He got out of the UFC, went to another place, and he started looking kind of normal. Came back to the UFC, looked fairly normal for my standards. Like, okay, he's got a little cut to him, but he's a professional athlete, He's a Jack Brazilian, nothing out of line. But all of a sudden, TRT was legal. And he shaved a mullet mohawk into his head. He had a cross shaved into his head. And he went from fairly normal, maybe built like not much better than Jeff, to even more Jack than Wheel. He was like, blah, blah. He was like just freaked out, red. He didn't have a neck. It was just all muscle. He was head kicking everybody. Dan Anderson, Luke Rockhold, spinning heel kick Luke Rockhold, head kick Bisping. He was killing everybody. He went to fight Bisping or Chris Weidman. And I don't know exactly because I'm not a quote on it, but Chris Weidman, they tested him, and Chris Weidman said his levels are like 6 times higher than mine. He's still cheating. So, like, if a normal testosterone level is 100, he was hitting 600. If a normal level is 300, that cat was hitting 1,600. And he was just juiced out of his mind, right? Well, then they took TRT away, and he looked every bit a 45-year-old. Flabby.
Oh, shit, because you can't get that back. You can't get that back after you get off.
He still had the mohawk. Yeah. But it was like, dude, you're 40 now. Like,
straight
you got
that
40 in like 2 fights. It was 2 fights. It wasn't no long term. It was like 2 fights. Wham, wham. Oh shit! And then he was old and out, and now he's back on the shit.
Yeah, knocking out Grandpa Evander Holyfield.
What do you think about all the athletes right now just dying, just falling over, having heart attacks? What's going on with that? They're like young, they're like 22.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Oh shit! It's a lot of there's tons of young athletes just.
I stay out of the news, so I don't know anything about it. So.
Well, Jeff, man, I've had fun watching fights. Shit. We had some good talks. I think we need to do this again. And so you're about to have the YouTube channel out, which is gonna be awesome. I think the whole state and area is gonna benefit from that. I think it's gonna be great for everybody.
The whole world is gonna.
What is it gonna be called?
So you can find everything on me. Again, it's a learning process for you that know me. No, I don't like social media, but I'm getting more and more out there.
Hell yeah.
Everything is going to be PMAC Jeff Powell. So PMAC Jeff Powell. PMAC stands for Powell's Martial Arts Concepts. It's taking all this knowledge that these great coaches have given to me, and then me not having a life and just watching fights all the time, and putting my own spin on things and stuff I think that benefits everybody. Whether you're a bad athlete, you're a great athlete, it's those small little details that are being lost. You can go to any other MMA gym around and they can just put you through a workout, but this is actually breaking down the details. I mean, all the way to how you move your foot this one way to, you can go to any MMA gym, boxing gym, kickboxing gym, and day one, you throw a jab and you just do it with your left hand. Well, what else is happening here? Like, we're going to go through every bit of the mechanics with it. I've had such a blessing of such great coaches like Chet Blaylock, Rocky Quinn, all those other people I've mentioned, Grandmaster Jay Blanton, really took me under their wing. And, and they exposed me to Joe Lewis, Richard Bustillo, Alan Goez, Dustin Dennis. It's just so many people. I can't even, I know I've left off like 80 people already but nobody has actually taken the time to break it down bit by bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to break it down bit by bit. check out my website on Square, Powell's Martial Arts Concepts, square.site. And that give you some testimonials from Trevor, from Mary Rosenbeck. And then you can also book seminars, private lessons. I'm at Academy of Athletics and Chattanooga Mixed Martial Arts College doing private lessons. I do a class at Chattanooga Mixed Martial Arts College every Monday, and doing seminars. You can book everything through that site, and I'll even make house calls to people in the Chattanooga area. I can't drive to Alabama anymore. I made the drive to coach to Alabama for what, 3 years, two years, something like that.
And you fucks, let him go.
Yeah.
And if you think I'm talking about you, I am. You fucks.
You fucking cocksucking motherfuckers.
I don't get same day. Mama say my new right. You fucks, let him go. Y'all did it. Not me. I was there every day. Eat my dick. Jeff, I think I think it was a real loss not having you in the area. I always enjoyed having you here. I really did. I'm proud to have you as a friend. I do think you are one of the greatest coaches for sure. Mm-hmm. Can't say the world yet, but for me, but pretty damn soon I see that coming, man. You're trending fucking up, and it is waves. Tyler told me that. Everything's in waves, man. I'm enjoying seeing your journey up, seeing you start to get the credit that you really, really, truly, truly do deserve. And I think before long, man, you keep doing the way you're doing. I think it's gonna be some life changing stuff happening. And I wish and pray that on you. Whether you take my prayer or not, I do wish and pray that on you.
I'm not that kind of an asshole.
I want good stuff for you, and I'm excited to see what you're doing, man. And I can't wait to see how it all ends up for you, man. Let's do this again. Let's do UFC 2 next.
Yeah. Or if any of your viewers, they have a UFC that they actually want us to break down,
there you go.
Throw it in the comments.
Hell yeah.
That'd
be fun.
Especially if it's from UFC 1 to UFC 250, I probably have it memorized.
Shit, yeah.
And it doesn't just have to be.
Huh?
Go ahead. You go.
It doesn't even have to be UFC. They can do Pride. They can do Pancrase, Glory. I'm a huge kickboxing fan. Pull up old boxing matches, old kickboxing.
We'll break it down. It'll be so fun. You ever heard of Joe Son?
No.
So me and him was talking about earlier. So, do you want to tell me or me to?
I'll go for it.
So Joe Son's. You ever seen the Austin Powers movie?
Yeah.
I remember the Asian guy random tap.
Yeah.
That's
threw
Joe
a
Son.
shoe.
Yeah, the shoe.
Wait, ain't he in prison?
Yeah, for what?
For murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For raping and murdering a lady on Christmas Eve.
Oh shit!
Do you know what they walked out with?
What?
They had crosses on their backs.
Joe Son fought in the UFC.
Joe Son and Kimo Leopoldo did, like UFC 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And they walked out with big crosses on their backs. I don't mean like a normal like this. I mean like a full, what's it called? What was
a crucifix?
Yeah, the whole crucifix like on their back. They're like
they'd be exhausted by the time they got to the cage.
Yeah, they're like, God wanted us to win today. Like, dude, God knows you're a raper, sir. God knows you killed people.
So they actually walked with a cross on their back.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they was the crucifix. They was Jesus.
Yes.
They were
walking with the cross to the cage to fist fight a motherfucker.
And the one of them
makes sense.
One of them
that makes perfect sense.
One of them raped, and one of them raped and killed a lady.
Yeah. But God forgives.
Yeah.
God forgives. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Jesus didn't tap?
No.
So this was a big, huge.
No.
So Jason David Frank, Green Power Ranger.
Yeah. Well, he
just died. Yes, but he was also.
I'm fucking sorry.
I almost got.
Oh shit, that is horrible.
I reached out to Colt the other day from 3 Ninjas.
Oh yeah.
He messaged me back. Now look, for y'all, that's nothing. But for me,
that's pretty cool.
I was Colt as a kid. I was Colt, man. I wanted to be that guy. And I was like, look, man, can you come on the podcast and give me a few minutes? He's like, I'm not really doing podcasts right now. I was like, come on, man.
Wait, 3 Ninjas from the 90s?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
I was Colt, man. That guy was my hero. I wanted to be Colt. I almost got in a fight with my stepbrother. He was like, I said, I'm Colt. He goes, I'm cold. I go, no, I'm Colt, motherfucker. And my dad goes, he said he's cold. I went, well, I didn't know that. And but I reached out to him on Instagram, messaged him. I hit him on TikTok first, and I hit him on Messenger. I was like, hey man, can I just get a few minutes on the podcast? I'm not doing the podcast right now. He was nice. At least he messaged me back, but I'm gonna keep trying to get him on. But that was just part of the Jason David Frank thing. But Frank was a Power Ranger, but he was also an MMA fighter.
Hell yeah, he was. He was good.
But now his big sponsor was.
He won 4 fights. He was 4-1. Okay. I think he is 4-1. Yeah.
But so was Colt. Colt fought too. Yeah. And but Jason's big sponsor on his pants was Jesus didn't tap, because Jesus didn't tap. They gotta make it like a religious thing, and it don't gotta be.
But it sells. It does sell a lot of T-shirts.
Why
like that? I would buy a Jesus Didn't Tap T-shirt.
Now that you know about it, why does religion sell so much? Why? I know we should like believe in Jesus and stuff like that. But why is it being pushed so much as like a sales tactic? Like, why does that have to be? So like around here, it has to be involved to do good. Like even Trevor, a big reason that he is, what he is here is Jesus and God and did all this. Why does that have to be such a big part of everything? Why can't it just be, hey, this is what happened?
You're asking the wrong gal on that one. I'll let Tyler take that question.
What the fuck are you talking about? No, I ain't got nothing.
You shouldn't. Yeah.
I think it's pretty wild that I do think people shouldn't. I understand praying before you fight and be safe and stuff, but it is pretty wild to me to see like God let me win today. That's a weird thing for me. I think Trevor did what he did, but also I think a big part of the reason it was blew up so big was him thanking God and Jesus for everything that was happening. Like at the football games and stuff, they're praying before and then they're praying after, and then I think it turns into. I think at some point it shouldn't. I don't think that should have to be everything. Like this
to incorporate God?
No, I'm saying you shouldn't have to. Like this is the Bible Belt. We're known as the Bible Belt.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you want what you're doing to be even a little bit successful,
you need God in your life. But your adversary wants God in their life too.
Yeah.
So whose
think
side is God on?
What I mean is Greg Hopkins didn't pray before the fight. Chris Mims didn't pray before the fight. We go over here, Vitor Belfort, known juice head. His sister did die. Do you know that?
Yes. Yeah.
So his sister was like kidnapped and murdered.
Well, God probably saying like, I'm going to give this one that.
So what I'm saying is to that. Here's what I'm trying to get at. Vitor Belfort prays before every fight to win. Do y'all think he also probably prayed to get his sister back?
Well,
yes,
obviously, obviously. But you can't do that.
So you're telling me the way it works is God looked at those two prayers and went, well, the more important ones you win in that fight. Brother.
Absolutely.
No, I
don't
okay.
Buy that. Oh, okay.
That's okay.
That. You went totally okay. I believe in Jesus and God.
Same.
I do. I am a Christian. But I'm not a good example.
Me either.
I say fuck a lot.
I'm just saying, I don't think God really picks or chooses in a fight. I think if God had answered one of Victor's prayers, it would have been the sister prayer. He would have went, all right, we're going to find her tomorrow. She's back.
Or God would be a piece of shit. If he did.
Well, if he wasn't answering the right one.
But God's not a piece of shit.
You know what Bisping told Mike? What Bisping told Victor before he got hit?
What?
You know.
What was that?
All right. So Bisping's at weigh-ins and Vitor's preaching this whole thing about God. This might have been God working a little bit nasty towards Bisping. And Vitor's at weigh-ins and he's juiced to the gills. He's freaking out. Jesus told me to kill you. He told me to eat you alive. Crazy stuff. And Bisping looks at him and he goes, there's no God, Vitor. There is no God. What are you talking about?
Vitor fucking blinds him in one eye. Yeah.
And everybody's like, God got that.
Well, that's what Jesus did to you, you piece of shit. Jesus did that to you.
Well,
all right, anyways, forgive me. Forgive me.
Well, there's nothing to forgive. I do believe in Jesus.
I do believe in Jesus, but Jesus actually blinded Michael Bisping.
No, I don't believe
because Michael Bisping did not believe in Jesus. Forgive me, Jesus.
Well, on a more positive note, though, you take consideration Trevor's story. Everybody loves an underdog story.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this story. He had a rough past. And you saw something in him when you guys were friends. Trevor is just a different type of animal all the way through. He attributes it to Jesus, and if that's where it's coming from, that's great. I say go with whatever works best for you. Whatever gives you comfort at the end of the day, go with it. I don't know if it's what made him sell or it's just the fact that he could knock a motherfucker out. That's what made him sell.
I think the whole thing I told Trevor the whole time was I said to him when he was young, I said, you're going to make money fighting. I said, because people are going to like the way you fight. Because I saw him, me and him was fighting in yards. I saw him fighting other people in yards. I said, people are going to watch you no matter what because of how you fight. Because you're not quitting. You're getting hurt some, but you ain't quitting a bit, and then you're winning. People like seeing that shit. They like Rocky.
Yeah.
Rocky gets hell whooped at him, but he's like, rah, and now he comes on back. I told him, I said, if you show up and fight the way you can, you're going to make money. I said, whether or not you win belts and stuff is going to depend on how hard you want to work. And that's kind of how I look at it. I think a lot of it's just him being hard work and kind of being like kind of a rocky story. I think I am going to take some credit for the platform. I think we did a good job building the story, building the platform for him to use and stuff like that. And I think if he went out there and lost a whole lot, it wouldn't have been the same. But him going out there and being tough and chomping down and doing what he did, I think that was a big part of it. And then I think the God and Jesus thing kind of pushed over the edge, especially here. But yeah, I'm proud of him and what he's done. It's very cool. Proud of you for getting him there. Proud of you for getting married to where she's at. Everyone's looking really, really sharp that you work with. I think once Stephen and them have you out for that paddling seminar, when is it?
February 11th.
Oh, yeah, they'll learn some shit.
I think they're going to learn a lot. They're going to go, oh, shit.
Because they're a jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah. I think once they kind of start seeing all that, they're going to go, I think they'll start trending up a little bit too. I think that's going to be great for him. Jeff, man.
Because you are a damn good striking coach. But
I am not.
No,
I'm the best
You
striking
goddamn
coach.
right.
That's
a bad word. All right.
He's going to see a bell for it.
Yeah.
The best.
Vitor fucked me up.
On the notion of Trevor, that man, I promise we'll end this podcast soon. You know me, I ramble. But and the same deal with Mary as well. Some people made mention one of Trevor's fights that he was just a brawler, and it upset him because you've seen how Trevor works. He puts in a hell of a lot of work. You know, back when we first started this thing, Trevor was taking 4 private lessons a week with me. You know, and at that time I was only charging $25 a lesson, so that guy was dropping $400 a month just in me. And
saw something in you, though.
But all that being said, though, is those little details that people don't see about fighting. They're like, oh, he's just a brawler and he knocks people out. You even see, quote unquote, high level commentators saying, oh, it's just a brawler. And I've heard people say it about Mary as well. And I've told them both, don't let uneducated eyes tell you what you're doing. They're both super technical people. They both put in the work. It's just constantly nonstop. Same for yourself. You know, the wins that you picked up, people like Bonnie Wagner. Yeah. I mean, anybody that consistently got work with me, they were winning, but people still wanted to label them as a brawler. If you go back in time, people want to label Jack Dempsey as a brawler. Now then, everybody's doing fight breakdowns of Jack Dempsey. He wrote one of the most comprehensive books on boxing ever. You know, so don't let the uneducated eyes tell you what you are. Well, you know that. Oh, he's just a brawler. You know, stuff like.
I don't hit hard balls.
You know, nobody knows like the level of technique that I bring, and then the level of work that you guys put in to getting that technique.
You're a great coach.
That is very well said, Jeff.
I like to think so.
Ken Young said every fighter should be praying for the safety of each competitor first off.
That's a good point.
Fair enough, Pops.
No, that's a damn good point. That is a damn good point.
God, please let me kill this.
Yeah, God. Yeah.
God, let us both be safe when we're done.
There you go.
Forgive me, Pops, for always being the cynic, though. You know, I'm sorry, Pops.
He said, Jeff, I'm praying for you. You need to do better.
I agree.
No, he didn't say
so.
But he will say he's going to pray for you because that's the kind of man Pops is. He's a good old cat.
Great guy.
Well, Jeff, man, it's been great.
Been great seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, let's go to Chattanooga. Let's get some training in. I got to get my own training in now, actually.
Can't wait to have you on again. Good luck on everything moving forward, man. We'll see you soon.
February 25th, Trevor Peak, UFC Apex Center. Everybody tune in. See Powell's martial arts concepts in action.
And then Mary's probably got some more coming up too.
She doesn't have anything scheduled yet, but I will keep everybody updated on Mary as well.
Bonnie's coming back soon.
April 1st, I think. So yeah, Bonnie Wagner will be back in there. So.
Everybody's looking sharp to get to Jeff. If you're betting money on fights and they're the underdog, throw it their way.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So. Have a good evening. Thanks for tuning in.